scheduled meeting of the Egg Harbor Township Committee is being reasons or topics that may properly be discussed in closed session pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act. Interruptions may occur. This meeting will be televised on EHTV Channel 97 and posted on the Township's website. Pursuant to Egg Harbor Township Code, public comment is subject to established rules of procedure, including a 5-minute time limit, recognition by the mayor, and standards of decorum. Comments shall be directed to the governing body. Thank you.
Thank you. Could everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a roll call, please.
Solano?
Here.
Paul Hodson?
Present.
William Pauls?
Here.
Ray Ellis?
Yes.
And Laura Crum.
I am here. Well, we're starting the meeting the way I always like to start them, with a presentation recognizing National Public Safety Telecommunicator Week, which is April 12th through April 18th. We want to do it early because we want to give you guys as much recognition as humanly possible. And also, we're going to get some information about kind of the support your telecommunicator out there. So come on down, everybody. I'm going to let you, honesty, and our EMS are the ones that deal with you in addition to the public every day. You are the voice, the first voice that people here are probably most thinking of. The fact that you're here, we want to recognize that and just thank you for all the incredible service. Thanks for this. I just want to thank each and every one of you. I was going to read the proclamation and
Township of Egg Harbor proclamation recognizing National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week, April 12th through 18th, 2026. Whereas emergencies requiring police, fire, or emergency medical services can occur at any time. And whereas the prompt response of police officers, firefighters, and paramedics is critical to the protection of life and the preservation of property. And whereas the safety of our first responders depends heavily on the quality and accuracy of information provided by citizens to the Egg Harbor Township Emergency Communications Center. And whereas public safety telecommunicators are the first and most critical point of contact for our citizens in times of emergency. And whereas public safety telecommunicators serve as a vital link between the community and emergency responders by monitoring field activities, providing essential information, and ensuring the safety of our police officers, firefighters, and paramedics. And whereas the public safety telecommunicators of Egg Harbor Township have made significant contributions to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients. And whereas each dispatcher has consistently demonstrated compassion, understanding, and professionalism in the performance of their duties throughout the past year. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Mayor and Township Committee of the Township of Egg Harbor, County of Atlantic, and State of New Jersey that the week of April 12th through April 18th, 2026 is hereby recognized as National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week in the Township of Egg Harbor in honor of the dedicated men and women whose diligence and professionalism help to keep our community safe. Congratulations.
Captain Keen, who is an overseas comms. We've talked about this before. Our telecommunicators I want to say underappreciated, but they don't get the recognition that they regularly deserve. I was thinking about how they're like the home plate umpire in baseball. Everything goes through the home plate umpire. For us to take a call, it goes through dispatch. Fire to be dispatched, it goes through dispatch. And vice versa. When you're done with the call, it goes through dispatch. So, I mean, they are pretty much the backbone of the organization when it comes to our first responder service, even our public works. And are very much appreciated. I think we've tried to ensure or change that a few years ago. One of the things, sometimes in two trains. What I'll say is, come and sit in the dispatcher's chair real fast. How, maybe their attitudes fall because maybe they just got off doing CPR over the phone because people don't realize that. They're not the ones out there doing the actual compressions, but guess what? They're relaying how to do CPR to someone that's never done it before. And can you imagine the stress? That's what dispatchers are doing. And really, getting off that call, what do you think they're doing? Are they going to being able to go have a breather and get their spirit back? No, they're on to the next call for something, a traffic crash or a fire. But you know what? Give our dispatchers a little bit of a break, when maybe you can get, not the service, but maybe they weren't as pleasant as you expected them to be. They're dealing with a lot. But I think the world of them, and this is the rock stars, because that's what they deserve.
How about the weekend, how they get treated at home?
So it was last year the idea came up, and it wasn't my idea. It was Chris. So adopt a dispatcher. So for that week until the communications week, we have people in the community, whether or not they're business owners or coffee, whatever. So we've got already a big, we put it out already on social media and we've got a huge response.
I want to echo what
Can you come down here
Chief.
just so?
Sure.
Come on, sir.
I want to echo what Chief Spanner said. Over the years, I've been doing this a long time, and over the years, we've gotten a lot of personal relationships with these dispatchers. I'm looking at two of them right now that I've known my entire careers in the fire service. They are definitely unsung heroes. They're the ones taking that 911 call. They're the ones who are dealing with that panicked homeowner, whether it be on a medical side or whether it be on a police side or even a fire, where that person is is having their worst day, probably of their life, possibly, and these dispatchers are the ones who are taking that call. They're dealing with these people before the police officers and the firefighters and EMS get there. So, when we get there and we're able to show face and talk to people, it's a little different. They're trying to do this over a telephone. So, that takes a lot. It takes a lot of skill, it takes a lot of talent, and it takes a lot of patience to be able to do. So, on behalf of the fire department, and I could probably speak, I would say Chief Spanner and we're completely grateful for everything you guys do. Keep up the good work, and we have your back. I have your back anyway. There's always going to be. You guys do a great job. You're in a lot of stress up there, and when we know it, we see it. So.
That's new.
we also do Pleasantville, Linwood, Longford, And it's not just one town they're focused on, which other town, maybe spoiled in that way. Again, they might get off that call for doing CPR. You know, I'm sitting here talking, I realize I use my hands a lot. But no, so they're earning their keep by having a shared service dispatch and know that it's a stressful environment. Your environment is one. That you deserve to be treated during telecommunications weekend.
Now, real quick, I like to make a name Hudson. When I was a police officer in Atlantic City, communication would call me and I delivered their lunch. Unlike Hudson, he never did anything. Also, unlike former police officer Hudson, who calls you on holidays and says happy holidays?
If I knew he was calling in, I'd hang up. Let me just add, in 1973, I became a police officer. And as a junior guy, guess what you got stuck doing? Playing dispatch. And it's a tough job. Don't let anybody kid you. In those days, we had to ring the siren. Okay, we had 4 incoming lines, and they all lit up together. You knew you had to get your feet down off the desk, sit there, and start typing on the IBM typewriter. So I know what you do. I listen to you. And that was, they used to say they called him on the air, he never answered. So I used to answer.
Didn't get to get his horse ready.
He would turn the light on.
Was it even an electric typewriter, right? It was a manual.
IBM on a roller.
But they do that, yeah.
Yeah, so you can see that. Yeah, I get a picture of our.
Billy, get in there.
We got a big picture for you. That's
I
it.
try to get out all this stuff.
Trying to get the deputy mayor in. Tuck it in.
Leave him out.
Buckle that round.
Thank you, thank you.
All right, guys. Does he really call you guys?
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Don't hang up. On the 5200?
Yeah.
Yeah, hang up. Don't. So there must be a problem with the line. Sorry.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys. Thank you for absolutely everything
Thank
you
guys.
do.
You're welcome.
They calls me Hudson. Yeah, new name now.
Oh, so we got a new person on board? Check it out.
They named a river after you, didn't they?
Yeah.
It's like, all righty. They truly are amazing people. They really are. All right, moving forward. We have ordinance number 8 for a public hearing. Mr. Friedman?
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance number 8 is an ordinance repealing Chapter 6, Article 17, Municipal Court of the Code of the Township of Egg Harbor. The purpose of this ordinance is to repeal Article 17 of Chapter 6 to align with the code with prior amendments. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to address the governing body on ordinance number 8? Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public portion?
Make a motion. Second.
Roll call, please.
Castellano?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes. Can I have a motion to adopt ordinance number 8?
Motion.
Roll call, please.
Castellano?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes. We have no ordinance for introduction, is that correct? Okay, good.
Sweet, the next meeting.
Yeah, next meeting's gonna be bad. We have our resolution consent calendars, number 131 through 134. This is crazy. Can I have, if anybody has any questions, can we do this first? If not, can I have a motion?
Make a motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Castellano?
Yes.
Yes.
Pauls?
Yes.
Ellis?
Yes.
Crommer?
Yes. Resolution 135 is authorizing payment of all bills. Can I have a motion to keep the lights on? And can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Castellano?
Yes.
Yes.
Pauls?
Yes.
Ellis?
Yeah.
Crommer?
Yes. Can I have a motion to approve the Township Committee meeting minutes of March 4th, 2026?
Make a motion. I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Can I have a motion to approve the departmental reports for the month of February 2026?
Motion?
Have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye. This is going to be one of the shortest meetings we've had in a long time.
What?
I shouldn't say that, but watch, I just jinxed it. I'm sorry. I am sorry, everybody. At least from our side of it. I'll rephrase it. Do we have anyone in the public that would like to address the governing body on anything whatsoever? Mrs. Justice, come on down.
Long time,
No,
Mrs. Justice.
I do know.
All right.
Evans Avenue resident, Cindy Justice. Somebody hit the timer because I have a pattern of just
I
talking.
have it. It's right here.
Okay.
I'm going to do this. I'll set it for you.
Sounds good. First, I want to thank you for hearing what I'm about to say. It ain't going to be easy for me or for you. I am a resident, have been for 30 plus years. I don't feel as if I'm being heard. I've been to a number of these meetings, both committee meetings and planning board meetings, since December, a couple of which didn't even happen. I showed up and they didn't happen. I know I don't have to go into detail for y'all. This is primarily about the proposal. It's called PB 2025-016. It's to put, until Monday, it was going to put 64 houses on West Jersey. Now it's reduced to 54 houses. But I tell you, that planning board meeting was less than, if I had to give it a grade, it'd be a D or below. Speaking of grades, we talked about times to wait at intersections, what's acceptable traffic-wise. This proposal, admittedly, by the person who presented it, said it's going to be a C, D, or E at particular times. Who in this room, y'all are included, you can raise your hand if you want to wait C, D, or E length of times to get anywhere. Who in this room wants to live surrounded by electricity? I have electricity on both sides of Evans Avenue. I'm a dead-end street. I am a special resident. Not me personally, but Evans Avenue has special challenges. Really special challenges, really special soil. I have a box here to show you how special it is, but nobody wants to hear me. That's what I feel like. Nobody wants to hear me. They know I'm speaking truth. The man over there that I'm sorry, I'm not pointing to anybody here, but he was in that seat over there when I was doing the presentation I was allowed to do. He said, well, what you're talking about happened 30 years ago. Well, it's still happening. I'm talking about a water table that's as high as it possibly can be. And it's ruining my home. It has ruined many parts of my health. Not that I don't believe in healing, because I do. I serve a great and mighty God, and I believe that I am going to be okay. I'm going to continue to be able to function in life, but it's been a hard road. I dug out by hand, as a single mother, a ditch at the end of my property so the water would get out from under a brand newly built house. No, actually, let me change that. I did that first before the house was erected. Then I got the under the house swimming pool. Once I divorced, I'm shaking. I just got kicked. I said, okay, I'm going to fix this. I got to get rid of this water. It's not going to go away. I have to direct and pump it out, which I did. Then we put another addition on the house. I had to do it on the second crawl space. Same thing. Water's everywhere down there. The water or the soil content is not made to have, it's made to have trees around it. It was designed to have trees. Our forefathers knew it was wet back there. That's how come Ivans got to be a dead end. There's so many streets below it that got vacated because it's too wet. Main Street doesn't go through because it's too wet. Speaking of vacated, those little green or gray boxes that all say exempted on them, found out at that planning board thing, one of those little gray areas that was on West Jersey, Lot 8, is now part of this guy's development. Which to me means, because I've already submitted an open request for that, and I was told that was consolidated with Lot 6 in 22. But now it's the housing lots are called 4.25, 4.26, 4. The lot 4 is the one furthest to the west from this proposal, and 6 was furthest to the east. It would have been right beside it. So I don't know what that was about, how that got to be. I was told just look it up in the Atlantic County records, which I have. The deed's not there. I think that means it was a cash sale, because I know my son's deed isn't there either, and that was a sheriff's sale. So, you know, there's just so much going on here that really needs to be considered before this thing gets that close to approval. Thank God, wherever, he's not here, our solicitor, I don't know his name.
John Ridgway.
He's so smart. He told the planning board chairman, he goes, if you give any kind of conditional approval here, you're locking yourself in. And they hadn't even presented the real design. They had to. The Pinelands told me you got to cut this down in size, or you're going to have to pay some Pineland credits. And they didn't want to do that. I don't blame them. What are they, 50 grand a pop, 50, 100 grand? I don't know what it is. But they're just doing this on the fly. And I feel like in the planning board meeting, it's a lot of let's make a deal. Let's make a deal. You don't have to. We can waive your ecological study. We can waive your cultural history. There's a lot of history on Ivans Avenue. It was the first street started, that in Tremont, I believe. So that bike path that is on the other side of West Jersey, in between Riga and West Jersey, was the railroad. And it came down from Philadelphia, took people into Atlantic City, and there was a station right there. There was a McKee City station, there was a Cardiff station.
You know that just so you know, the planning board hearing is not done on that project.
I know they're not, but it's just a matter of, I got 2 weeks. I got 2 weeks to save my life here. Because I'm talking my life, my quality of life. I have been working on my property since I bought the property because of water. Because of water. We talk, you got to see this. We at least want to see this. Because you yourself said you got wisteria. That's what my wisteria looked like. All over my entire backyard. I have to rake not the entire 2.16 acres, but I have to rake the leaves up to make sure I can see where my enemies are at, because I don't want them to come back, and they just come back. Look at this crap. Look at this stuff. Nobody can fix this either, because nobody has this kind of unique situation. Again, I mentioned before, this stuff is following our Mill Branch, the Blackman Branch, all over to the Cedar Branch, Maple Run, whatever it's called, over to Patcon Creek. This wisteria is everywhere. It's up above the Black Horse Pike, and I have names and lot numbers. I think they should be held accountable for this stuff. This is invasive. This is banned for sale now. And it's eating what used to be beautiful in Andover Township. I don't have no other, I mean, really, truly, I don't want to pursue anything other than this. I really don't want to, but if I get back into the corner, I can't live the way that I'm going to have to live if that place gets approved.
Well, we'll have come back to the next planning board meeting. And if the date is changed, we will let you know for sure, and the people on Ivans Avenue. Okay?
You gotta have the typographicals.
We're going to get all the topographicals.
We gotta make sure. I understand that, but our engineer confirms what you're showing us, and I believe it. Wasn't I out at your house before?
I don't know if you were, I know.
Well, when you had the water and you couldn't flush your toilets?
Frank's son
Okay,
was
so
there.
here's the thing. There is an issue with water out there. It runs over to Ridge, Mill Road, supposed to be Main Street. It's all wet. It's all wet. So we got to make sure that it's not being shipped your way because of this development, number one. And maybe number two is the development can remediate your problem by getting the water to run somewhere else.
I just respectfully
God put it there.
I know it.
God put it there. Okay. So we got a real problem, and the developer has to realize that the retention pond that he thinks is going to work may hurt you.
But he doesn't, he's
Oh, I
arguing.
got it. I was there. I spent the 4 hours. I was there. So
I know.
I mean, I was there. Okay. And there was a young man, I won't point him out by name. We can't allow 4 inlets onto West
Amen,
Jersey Avenue.
amen. See,
We
oh,
can't do it. It's
yes.
a busy highway.
Yes,
It's,
I needed
it's
that.
a road used to divert traffic off the Black Horse. It runs parallel. And I always use this excuse, cars are mice. They find their way. If they can do better on West Jersey, they're going to use it, not the Pike. So we know this. And when you have a traffic guy give you the ABC like you referenced it, that's a judgment call. It's not firm. It's not like 2 + 2 is 4. It's 2 + 2, maybe 3 or 4 or 5. So we got it. And keep coming with your friends and the people out there. And we will hopefully get the right answer if they pursue their development.
And we'll make sure that our engineers give us complete separate
You
information.
need to know the typographical layout of the water.
Got it.
Ivans Avenue is very low.
And it changes over time.
I got it. You betcha. I
It
got
changes.
it. I know it does. And it's only getting lower because it gets plugged up.
Yeah.
But thank you for mentioning that 4 intersection thing. I was thinking
Somebody
on
beat me
Monday.
to it, but that was what I was going to say. We don't need.
It was my
4
husband. My husband
Well,
brought that forward.
He's right over there smiling. I don't
Gentleman
necessarily
right there.
agree with that. I don't agree with a fireman all the time, but he was right on the money.
Well, the firemen or the snowplow people here. This is what I wanted to
What I'm saying
say.
is, that's the first. Okay.
They were. I've been here for a number of times that they were recognizing,
Well,
rightly
your problem
so.
is the water. We don't want him to create water that hurts you.
Well, that's part of the problem, but I don't want children killed. And that's what
Oh,
could
yeah.
happen at those 4 intersections. Think of, and now I'm going to put on my taxpayer hat, okay? What are we as a township going to do when the first fatality happens because of those 4 intersections? As one gentleman pointed out, that's going to be 6 intersections between English Creek Road and Fernwood Avenue
Right.
for buses to be stopped at in the morning. Some people that live on my street have trailers. They try to pull behind them. They can't make a right or left-hand turn. They'll sit there forever. But it's only a matter of time till a child gets killed. Then who are they going to come to? Because I don't even know if the planning board things are recorded. I want to be on the record for this because I'm saying that could happen. That could happen.
There could be, just so you know, they are recorded.
That's
So anything
cool.
that you've said at the planning board has been recorded.
Well, I asked them for an audio file and I haven't got that yet because I don't even know.
That was a long meeting too, so.
It was very long. But I don't even know usually what I say when I get up here, so I have to watch the tape to even say, well, did I say it there? Did I say it whenever?
You've been pretty consistent since the first time that you came before us. And I know at the planning board the other night, you touched on an awful lot of things. The issue that, as Paul stated, is the water on Ivans Avenue. And
Yes,
I
it was.
remember you and I had talked prior in regards to the year we had 62 inches of rain and
Yes.
how bad Ivans
Yes.
Avenue was. And that's a problem when you're that low.
It is.
You
There's
know?
other people on Ivans with problems too, correct?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. Everybody south of the, there's 11 of our homes down there that have to have those grinder pumps that he's proposing, and everybody has that. The other thing too is, as a taxpayer, I want to say where I see lawsuits coming our way, it has to be young families. Well, let me just back up a second because the chairman of the planning board even brought this forward. He goes, because some residents said, what about the power lines? They're health hazards. And he's like, well, I can't tell people where to buy a house. And I'm like, well, internally I'm thinking, who do you think's going to buy those homes? The people that want a home, that want to start a family, they can't afford a lot, so it's going to be reduced because I'm living underneath the power lines. Well, how long is it going to take for them to say, knock, knock, Egg Harbor Township, my baby's got brain cancer? I mean, that stuff's for real, those EMF things. And if anybody thinking about buying a house there wants to know whether or not it's a great place to live, it's like Casper the Friendly Ghost is having a party when the wind blows and those the high tension lines are going, woo! I mean, it's ridiculous. There's just no reason to build there.
Well,
No
then
reason.
bring this back to the planning board, okay? And we will verify, because that's where this is right now.
But
It's
what do
not
I
here.
bring, Mayor? Just tell me what to bring, because everything
I'm
I'm doing,
going to
nobody
tell you right
wants.
now, the paperwork you brought, the one big board that you brought was very good because it showed the low end of Ivans Avenue.
Yeah.
The
And
rest
it's
of a lot of the older documentation isn't relevant to the hearing. And so it has to be things that are relevant to the hearing. That's why Mr. Ridgway took all the information from you and started to go through it.
No, but he didn't. All that happened, they took a picture of that map. That was it. He didn't get any of it. I'll tell you honestly, I have a call into our planner's office. I've asked for an audience with the planner because I kept hearing that too. Well, our planners looked at this and it's going to drain, okay? I'm like, I can't believe that because that planner, who will remain nameless, me and him sat at a table back in the 90s trying to scheme up a plan to get the sewer service down to Ivans Avenue because I could not flush. And I have pictures in here where I can't flush. I have pictures of the
water
water.
there is so low that, or so high, I should say.
Yes,
The water table
yes,
is so
yes.
high that it's causing problem for everyone down in that area.
It will be.
And then really back, the rules we have today, that area would have been developed.
I know that.
And that's the problem. It's an area that is so low and the water table is so high.
Look,
And
we're
that's
here
the problem.
today, Mayor. Why can't that guy just take that as our answer? And why can't we all look at that section that I read? Our code 94-41 says this stuff should be considered about whether it's good for the community. It's not good for our community. I've talked to every single one of those houses on Tremont Avenue, and the ones that are further south are getting water in their basement today already. This bunch of BS, he's already saying it's going to go their direction is just going to increase that happening. There are basements in those homes.
I mean, that's why, just so you know, and that's why we have these kind of hearings at the planning board. This is to break all of this information out. And there's a lot of professionals in that room, and then everybody sitting up there on the dais has not even had an opportunity to weigh in yet. So let's just see what happens. And I can't promise you one thing or another, because at the end of the day, this is somebody who has property and wants to develop it, and it's what they want to do is allowed in that area, and they're not asking for a single variance. So that means it's what we said the other night, a by right application.
Yeah, I don't quite understand that, but they're asking for waivers. And I do believe, as I offered a solution on the planning board evening, I said, we, Edgar Township, need to buy that back from him and say, bye-bye. Go back to Little Egg Harbor. I did a lot of digging yesterday. There's a number of mortgages on those properties. I think he'd be probably happy to give them up. Go somewhere else. I'm telling you, it cost us under $500. And I don't know if you remember a couple of times back when ACUA was standing here giving their presentation and they were talking about their money and they'd say, well, it'd be better, but every year we have to pay $1.5 million to the residents who brought suit. Well, why don't we forego that? Because that's the kind of stuff we're looking at, I think. If it's not going to be a person getting killed or being radiated to death, or maybe somebody on Ivans Avenue just saying, look, this ain't right.
Bring all this back to the planning board, okay?
I'll be back.
Good.
I promise.
And if anything changes, we will make sure that you know. And
Thank
everybody
you.
on Ivans Avenue knows.
I'm just afraid it's going to happen. They're going to get that conditional da-da-da-da-da, and it just, because it's not like we have a verbal exchange during that. And I sincerely appreciate this verbal interaction. I thank you so much for hearing me. I'm sorry I used the BS and, those kind of words, but
You're upset, and
I am.
So-
I can't even tell you how upset I am. It's just, I am a senior citizen. Don't so many people on our street are senior citizens. I got a 7 in my next birthday. You know what I'm saying? I want to enjoy my life in my house. I don't want to hear beep, 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 beep when they're pushing their dirt around. I just don't. And I don't think y'all would either. Not that you personally have the power to do this, but somebody somewhere, we got to just make this a safe place again.
Make sure you're at that meeting, okay?
I will be here.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Can we help you with that box?
No, I'm really good at this.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else want to address the governing body? Mr. Branca, come on down.
I was eager to be set down for myself. So okay, man. Yeah. Not like, and
Do you have an extra one for the clerk for the record? If not, I will.
Yes.
If you don't, I'll give her one.
right.
Thank you, sir.
Donna?
Good evening. My name is Dominic Branca. I live at 23 Evergreen Avenue, right here in Egg Harbor Township. I'm here for a resolution that myself and a couple of advocates would like to propose. I did send this resolution electronically a few weeks ago, and I want to kind of get to where we got to with this resolution. So I don't know if anybody's aware, but in 2022, we had a big decision come down. We like to call it in the game the Bruin decision. And that was in 22. And that established that the Second Amendment protects an individual's right to carry guns in public for self-defense, invalidating states like New Jersey's requiring proper cause for concealed carry permits. Gun regulations must be consistent with historical tradition of firearm regulation. That's a huge thing with firearm laws. We have to go back to historical, almost colonial times for new gun laws, moving focus from modern efficacy to historical precedent. So I want to talk a little bit about the carry permit situation historically. This is the day before Bruin decision came down. Carry permits, although they were almost impossible to get in the state of New Jersey, were $20. After the Bruin decision went down, they went up to $200. Firearms ID cards the day before, $5. The day after, $50. Permit to purchase a handgun went from $2 to $25. So historically, before the Bruin decision came down, to obtain all three of those permits, the cost to the average American constitutional loving citizen was $27. Now the cost is $275 that we pay to the state of New Jersey. That's not on top of the certifications we have to get. And sometimes, to get your certification through an NRA instructor to please the state of New Jersey, that can be another $200. This is all to practice our constitutional right. These increases happen overnight with the introduction of Bill A4769, aka we call it the Carry Killer Bill. They had this written before Bruin came down. With the state enacting the Carry Killer Bill, it has constructed a paywall. Okay, and a paywall basically, in terms, is it stops people from certain types of income to be able to practice certain things like our civil liberties. So it constructed a paywall for lower income citizens to practice their constitutional rights, therefore depriving us from our civil liberties. These fees are in fact redundant in the state of New Jersey and in Egg Harbor Township. The CCW, along with the FID card and the handgun permits, all require the same background check. One time, when you go on the state's page, it's all right there. Click, I'm getting this. Click, I'm getting that. Click, I'm getting this. With the click of your laptop mouse, all three at one time. We have over 18 municipalities in the state of New Jersey who have recognized these egregious fees and decided not to be prejudiced of one's financial position. They have passed and proposed a resolution to rebate $150 back to its constituents, keeping our God-given rights on an even platform. This resolution before you is not a Republican or Democrat proposal. It is a proposal for all residents to be able to afford the right to celebrate together under the Constitution of the United States of America, where no one is left out because of their financial status. And if you guys do your research, the reason we have gun control laws and handgun control laws, it started back when the slaves were freed. They didn't want freed slaves to have firearms. Okay, and they made some firearm laws. And then back in the 60s, okay, they came out with the handgun laws. And the reason they came out with the handgun laws is because the Black Panthers decided to arm themselves against the tyrannical government. And if you look at the old black and white photos of the Black Panthers, what are they carrying? They're carrying rifles and shotguns because of the egregious handgun laws that we put out. So what I'm getting at is there's a lot of municipalities that have noticed this. So we pay $200 to the state. As soon as we pay that $200 to the state refunds $150 back to the municipality. Now, I know y'all can't control gun laws. Okay, that goes up to our new governor and to the federal government. But what you do have control over is the $150 that you guys get back from the state of New Jersey. They keep 50, you get 150. Now, I believe there's 465 CCW holders in Egg Harbor Township. We're one of the biggest in South Jersey. And that equates to about $69,000 of taxpayer money. And then you ask yourself, I'm up here talking for free. I'm practicing my civil liberty, freedom of speech. It didn't cost me a dime, and I appreciate you all listening to me. But then the next amendment that's right down there is our Second Amendment. And we just got charged $200 to practice our Second Amendment. It's ridiculous. So I know you all don't have the power with the state, okay? But you are our local municipality. You right now are controlling that $150. And I don't even know if you know that, okay? But you're controlling that $150. And then there's an argument, well, we have to pay our police officers to do this paperwork. Again, it's under their job description. When a police officer or a public official like yourself, you take an oath to the Constitution of the United States of America. Am I right? You guys do that every year at your reorganization meeting? Well, doing that little bit of paperwork, the state does most of it. That comes under the Constitution of the United States. We're not asking the police department to go to a traffic detail. Then, you might have to pay. Or, we're not asking for them to do a security detail. You might have to pay that detail pay. But that oath, that payroll, that comes under the oath that they took. And we have a lot of Second Amendment advocates here today. I hope that you all get a chance to look over this resolution. Like I said, there's 18 municipalities. I know Absecon is looking at it very seriously, and they're going to put it on the agenda. You guys have signed most of the folks that are on this committee signed a form about 4 years ago that you would back us Second Amendment folks here in the township. I hope you take a strong look at it. And I hope, I pray that we can be the first ones in Atlantic County to do it. That would definitely be something. And you have control over this. It's not the state. This is your money. So how it works usually with the other municipalities is Dominic puts in for his permit. I pay the $200 to the state. Then I take that little piece of paper over. I don't know if you take it to the county clerk or whoever handles the money. I show them the proof I paid for this. And then the rebate check comes back to the citizens. You all have control over that money. And I hope that you would consider giving it back because the state is trying to price us out of practicing our civil liberties. And that is horrible. We have single moms that are trying to protect their families. They got to feed children. Times are tough. Is that my timer? Okay. Times are tough. Times are tough. I'm going to be done after this. And just to put it in perspective, I have my Pennsylvania carry permit also, $5. And it's not for 2 years, it's for 5 years. It cost me $5. $5. So I can carry and protect my family. Yes, it cost me $5 when I go over the bridge. Okay, that's for 5 years. State of New Jersey, I know you don't have any control over that. But it's over between the certification, we're looking at $700. I'm a disabled person. I don't have any income. How am I supposed to protect my family? $700 every 2 years. So I appreciate your time. We have some other advocates here, and you have control of that. Any questions you have for me?
No, but Dominic, when you first brought this to my attention, it's remarkable that the NRA featured this article in their magazine because normally New Jersey doesn't get the press because of gun laws we have.
Correct.
The NRA, which I'm a member of and have been for many years, they featured this starting, I believe, in Monmouth County. Okay. And that's unusual for the NRA, a national organization, to pick it up like that.
Awesome. And you know what? It really, if you think about it, this isn't even a gun rights thing. We're paying for our civil liberties. That's unheard of. That is unheard of. So, you look at it, take the whole way. I know some people aren't anti-gun. Take away the whole gun thing, and we're all constitutionalists. We're paying to practice our civil rights. So, I appreciate your time. There might be some other folks here that want to talk.
Thanks, Dominic.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Hello, everyone.
Sandra, just need your name and the town you're from.
Yes, I'm Sandra Hickerson, and I actually live in Absecon. I'm here to support my fellow concealed carry permit holders here in Egg Harbor Township. So I don't want to repeat a lot of what Dominic just said. So I'm going to read. I believe Dominic already put this letter in your folder there.
Yes.
Today, the concealed carry permit applications are processed through a portal maintained by the state police. The cost of maintaining the system is paid through a separate transaction fee by the applicant, directly to the state police in addition to the statutory fees. With the electronic submission, the application fee, the applicant pays the $50 state portion of the application fee directly to the New Jersey State Police. After submitting all required paperwork through the portal, including fingerprinting, reference letters, and proof of completion of the state's training requirements, the application is automatically forwarded to the municipality agency for review and approval. We recognize that there is some time involved with the process of these applications and completing the steps in the background check, but there is no direct cost to the municipality where the application is submitted. The infrastructure used to complete this application is maintained by the state and separately paid for with each online submission. In New Jersey, carry permit fees are layered fees on top of fees. An applicant must pay a fee to obtain a firearms purchaser identification card, a separate fee to obtain a pistol purchase permit, a separate fee to the New Jersey State Police for each of those applications, and a separate fee to pay for the processing of fingerprints. Before 2022, the municipal fee to obtain a permit simply to purchase a pistol was $2. It is now $25. For the same background check conducted to obtain a permit to carry that pistol. On June 11th, as Councilman Paul Hodson mentioned, the borough of Englishtown in Monmouth County became the first in the state to eliminate these burdensome and discriminatory fees through a rebate system. And there's again in your folder, Dominic attached a model resolution for there for you to look at. So we're just asking all municipalities across the state to consider and pass this resolution to ensure equal protection for our laws and to ensure that all peaceable people can share the same rights regardless of their income levels. So we're just asking that you please consider this, look over the information. If there's any way that I can help provide you other sample resolutions from other towns, I'll do so. I'm not sure if Dominic put that in your folder or not. But again, there is 18 towns across the state that has passed this resolution so far. And I live in Absecon, so I've been working with the Absecon Council, and it should be either on their agenda for either the first or second meeting for April. So that's coming up. So again, if you have questions, I've also emailed you. I know you have my email and my contact information, so please reach out. And again, I'm from Absecon, so thank you very much for allowing me to be here and speak to you tonight. So thank you.
Thank you. Is anyone else, would anybody else like to address the governing body? Yes, sir. Just your name and your town for the record.
I am Robert Anderson from Egg Harbor Township. Also, I'm with Dominic on the same thing. I'm a CCW, and I'm retired. So all the fees affect me even more now that I'm retired. So I think the fee's just it's not fair also. Thank you.
Chief, do you want to say anything on this, or do you want to look at this and we can talk about it another time?
Obviously, my position, I'm going to have to remain neutral in this capacity.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing I will say is the police department, I don't know that, as far as the oath, yes, we swore an oath to do our jobs, but I don't know how that relates to the processing of the firearms. Mr. Branca did mention we are one of the busiest agencies. We have a very high amount of firearm permit to purchases ID cards and permit to carries, especially when compared to pretty much anyone else in the county. I mean, Eggebert Township, I think, is ahead in that regard. So we are doing our job. We, based on the guidelines that are set for us. And I know I take pride in the fact that we try to meet the 30-day window and turn them around very quickly, because I know, again, it's an important thing to do. So I guess, I'm kind of going, I'm moving my hands again. Change, right?
Hold it.
Anyway, that's all I wanted to say is but you have to also remember, I guess, back when the state changed the game with this and inundated our resources. We haven't expanded our personnel to take on the additional work. And I've said this before, it's not just the administrative work when it comes to the firearms process, but with a lot of things here in the town. And
It's trying to keep the tax rate steady and a few other things, so.
yes, but that comes with consequences.
It does.
And, 20 years late, or, we're still at this, I'm actually getting off track here. So that's what I'll just leave it at. We have met the need and the demand for the firearms that come into the agency. And if anything, I think we're going above and beyond in the service that we provide in that regard. As far as the fee, I'm not going to comment on that, but I just wanted to, let Mr. Branca know that, we're still abiding by our oath and processing these as fast and quickly as possible. So, but also the one thing I will say, I am very concerned about a firearm getting into the hands of someone that shouldn't have a firearm. And we are very diligent in that regard, because that is a responsibility. That is an oath that I took. So we do very comprehensive backgrounds and to ensure that firearms aren't getting into the hands of people that shouldn't have them. So, all right. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Anybody else? Sir?
My name is James Cassis. I've been a township resident for 41 years now. I live at 6 Hollow Drive presently. I was a CCW holder. I was able to afford to do it the first year, but since then, I've been retired, and now the expenses have gotten to be too much. I was here back before when this committee passed a resolution. But just to remind him, in 2015, Mayor Sonny McCullough had called on the New Jersey legislature to loosen the gun restrictions and allow citizens to carry and conceal weapons. February 19th, 2020, the township passed a resolution supporting the Second Amendment. The state has been violating our 2A, knowing it was unconstitutional for a long time until Bruin validated that they were violating our civil rights. These legislators had a score of new legislation trying to subvert the Bruin decision, knowing it would be years and hundreds of thousands of dollars to litigate back up to the Supreme Court. Members in this hall at that time would tell us that this is the state legislators who passed this. We're just a township. What can we do? That was the question. So you passed the Second Amendment, but what else can we do? Well, here's a situation where what you can do. Okay, and you talk about the police department's responsibilities and their jobs, and I understand it costs money to do these things. But when my home was broken into, when I lived on Delilah Road back in the late '80s, nobody told me, "Hey Jim, we'd really like to investigate this break-in, but you know what? It's only you. It's not fair to the other taxpayers that they have to absorb the cost to investigate this break-in." Okay, and they would ask, "Well, what other things happen in this township that the few pay for the many, or the many?" We have 67% of all households in the township do not have any children under the age of 18. So that means 67% of the households in the township pay for 33% of the kids going to school. That's a perfect example of where other citizens are paying for benefits that they're not benefiting from. These are things that are important. Education is important, but it's the benefits for the good for many. Practicing and our civil rights is the same way. Another example, we just had a recent school board. There was 3,000 votes out of the potential of 37,000 voters. Do we charge the voters money to pay for? Why is it fair that 37,000 people have to pay for 6,000? Again, it's part of us practicing our constitutional rights. So, as this committee and the mayor want to honor their constitutional oath by waiving these fees, it would be in conjunction or agreement with the resolution that you made back in 2019. Or the committee pass another resolution saying that we honor your constitutional rights, but only if you can afford to pay for it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else? Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public portion?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Township committee reports. Mr. Castellano.
Nothing new for this week, Mayor.
Mr. Pauls.
I have nothing this week.
I'll make it 3 for 3. I have nothing other than good luck, and springtime is here. So I'm sick of this weather. Too cold, too snowy. Let's have a nice spring.
I think we all second that. Mr. Ellis.
Nothing this week.
Well, I'm not going to change it. So, absolutely nothing. Except for would like to wish your Muslim friends the Ramadan ends tomorrow. So those that have been on a fast for a month, we're glad that the time went fast and your holy day will be celebrated, which will be good. So everybody enjoy the sunshine. I hope it's coming. We have a little bit more for us to do, I think, but we just want to, and also please check online about our dispatchers. You know, there's an adopted dispatcher, you know, little things you can drop off, you know.
I can bring pizzas.
Flowers, you know, just little things, a thing of candy bars, M&Ms, so they can have them on their consoles. They do an incredible job. So we're going to donate things to them. We ask the public just to say, and for them, they're the unsung heroes. Nobody sees them. So that's all I'm going to say about that. And just wish, well, let's go to the next part, but then I'll wish everybody good night. Tom, do we have a need for a closed session?
Yes, ma'am. You know that. Stop it. Resolution 136, authorizing the Township Committee to convene in a closed executive session to discuss matters which may involve personnel and/or legal matters.